Whenever you tell people you're a forex trader, you realize they automatically start to assume you must have had a history of losing a lot of money. The overwhelming majority of the stories we hear from so many traders, whether experienced or inexperienced, is of them losing money. It's always on the losing side. Individually, a lot of people have lost way more than they've actually made trading forex or instruments on the market. So anytime you sit down to listen to anybody's story about forex, you are hearing them say, I lost $10,000, I lost $20,000, I lost $50,000, I lost $100,000, but you never hear of them talking about the wins they've made whilst trading in the market. For a lot of traders, they lose really big when they lose, but anytime they win really small because of whatever trading system they employ. So today's video is to actually make sure that you do not have any story like that. So if you like how that sounds, all I want from you is to simply look down below and smash that like button. I also want you to subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel. Also be sure to turn on post notifications so you get notified anytime I go live or anytime I drop a new video. So the whole month of May, you followed my journey on YouTube, in my Telegram community, on all my social media, where it's been just one big win after another. It's been a really amazing month of May for me. Just yesterday, we actually cleared another 250 pips trading gold. You want to also be sure you're part of the most thriving trading community on Telegram by simply going to the link in the description to join my trading community on Telegram, where I drop important trading updates. We are almost hitting 15,000 on Telegram, so I want you to also be sure to subscribe to my Telegram community. So I actually ran a poll yesterday on Instagram asking what content you wanted to see next. So you also want to follow me on all my socials, KOMMONFOREX on all social media platforms. So I ran this poll asking what content you wanted to see next, and an overwhelming majority of the responses I got was to simply break down the gold trade I took with my community yesterday. And this trade I took yesterday actually encapsulates my normal day trading routine on the market. So you want to be really attentive. You want to sit down and buckle up because you're actually in for an amazing ride today. If you want to have a solid system that helps you to day trade gold and then catch solid moves on it every blessed day and then make some quick money for yourself, you don't want to move away from here because you're going to get exactly what you want. So what I normally do, like I always say, is that when I wake up, say a prayer, I just do my normal daily routine. I actually sleep really early. Normally by 9 p.m. I'm not mostly asleep. By 3 a.m. I'm mostly awake. So I just do my normal daily routine. Then I just walk into my office. Then I sit by the chart. Then I now start, scanning for opportunities on the market. I normally like to start from a higher time frame and then determine the direction from there, or see what opportunities I can actually identify on a higher time frame. Once I do that, now I need day trading entries. Then what I do next is now I like to go to the lower time frame. So whatever strategy tells me what direction to expect the market to go in on the higher time frame, and I'll go to the lower time frame and then look at what to expect intermittently on the lower time frame as well. So the lower time frame now gives you what's about to happen now. The higher time frame, especially the 4 hour, also enables me to know what to expect the whole trading day. So yesterday I mainly determined the overall direction on the higher time frame. Then I use my lower time frame to find opportunities on it. And then one thing I also like to do a lot is to actually employ every single tool I have in my arsenal. When I open the charts, what does majority of the work for me is my item and brains. You need to make sure you spot every single key level, every single opportunity on the market. Whatever chart pattern you use, whatever strategy you use, whether support, resistance, trend lines, it should also help you find trades on the market. So normally I have a higher edge if I'm able to get an opportunity on the market using more than one of my trading tools. So all I did was I basically started from the 4 hours. So what do I always say? Anytime you open the charts, the structure is really important. I simply mark out my resistance, then my support, look at the key levels, and now I like to see what to expect next. If you watched my very last video I made on YouTube, I talked about a particular chart pattern which I like to call a rising wedge. Like I said, other people call it a flag pattern. The name doesn't really matter. All that matters is how you trade with it. That's what matters. So now if you look at this pattern, basically I was expecting the market to break to the downside. At the same time, I had a trend line also coming from all the way down here, which had a second touch in here, also waiting for another third touch, expecting a breakout along that same third touch, along with the rising wedge we had in there. Normally what I expect anytime I'm using this wedge is a long drop on the market. Then now I want to see the market, consolidate, giving it some sort of uptrend before it eventually, breaks on the downside. So I simply like to just mark out this whole region that consolidates, giving me the uptrend in there, waiting for a breakout to the downside. So the moment it breaks the trend line I normally have at the bottom here, that's where I'm expected to actually find an entry on this trade. Because I like day trading, once I spot the opportunity, I like to go on the lower time frame and then find entries in there. And when I go to the lower time frame, I don't basically just go to the lower time frame and then just jump in on the trade. I also need to make sure I have a strategy that allows me to find a perfect entry along with a confirmation on the lower time frame. So let's look at what happened in here. So now we're basically expecting the market to drop from here. We also saw a trend line at the bottom here where we're expecting, a break from. At the same time, if you are really good with trading chart patterns, which is why I said you need to really take chart patterns very seriously. So basically, you can see a head and shoulder pattern forming in here. This was the right shoulder, which was now forming. There was also a confluence with my trendline breakout, with my rising wedge, along with what my head and shoulder pattern. What we expect from the head and shoulder pattern is normally a breakout when the market gets to the neckline, which is along this region. But like I said, if you have good entries, you can even be in your trades before it even gets to the neckline. So let me repeat everything again so you understand exactly what I've said so far. So I have a rising wedge telling me to expect a breakout to the downside. I have a trend line in here. If the market gets to the trend line, I'm expecting a breakout, but I'll wait for it to get to the trend line first, and I'll make sure I've already taken some profit by the time it gets to the trend line. The last thing is also the head and shoulder pattern we're having here. We have the left shoulder, we have the head, and then the right shoulder is also now forming. So what do we do from here? All we have to do next is simply switch to the lower time frame, because now the higher time frame has clearly given us a bias. So if you like what you're watching today, I want you to just take some time, smash that like button, also look down below and then hit that subscribe button, also smash that notification bell so you receive a notification anytime I go live or anytime I drop a video on YouTube. Let's get back to the video. So now on the lower time frame, what do we see? We see the market consolidating along this particular price. Now what do we want to do next? We want to now apply the same rules we applied on the higher time frame. So now we have our recent high in here, and then we also have our recent low at the bottom here. Once we do this, we want to now zoom out and see if we can now draw trend line connecting the points up here. So now we try and draw a resistance trend line from the top all the way, connecting it with what the most recent second touch, extended it into the future. You realize that right after drawing this trend line, it doesn't get to where the market currently is or current price. So what do we do next? We try and draw an inner trend line from here. We connect it with what the most recent second touch. So you realize that now we have an inner trend line in here which we are focusing on currently. So we can choose to delete this outer trend line and then come back to it when the market actually breaks this inner trend line. So this is exactly how I trade every morning. Now major high, major low at the bottom here, waiting for a third touch. And I remind you, this line at the bottom here is exactly where we are expecting the market to break the rising wedge. At the same time, the third touch, where we are also expecting the market to get to and break out as well. Now we simply wait and see what the next candle does. Drops, like I said, wait for the third touch before you jump in. So many traders try to fall straight in here when it's not even at the third touch yet. If you don't pay attention to your rules, this is what happens. So now you realize that it eventually came back to hit the market for a third touch. There was no confirmation yet. So finally we got our confirmation in the next candle. Drop gave us a beautiful evening star. We simply would bring the risk to reward down here, then we place our stops on top of the consolidation in here. Here would have been too much, so I decided to place the stops on top of the consolidation, which was this price. Then our TP1 is this low we have at the bottom here. Then let's say we expect the market to still get to the trend line, the third touch, then targeting the price all the way down here, which was about 300 pips. So start taking our entries on this trade. First candle, beautiful drop. We get some 30 pips on it. We can now start to protect our capital. Then it eventually drops, pulls back. Then it runs through all our various take profits, pulls back, goes all the way down again. So eventually dropped all the way down to this particular price. A few pips away from our very final take profit. If you want to learn how to actually add positions on a trade, how to jump in even when you are late, you remember what I always say about break and retest or pullback strategy. So drop, pullback, drop, pullback, drop, pullback, drop. And then this retest on the third touch is exactly when you can also find much more entries on it. So now if we switch to the higher time frame, let's look at what we see there. We eventually will get the breakout we're actually talking about on the third touch. So you realize that at the same time, this rising wedge criteria has also been met, and it's actually consolidating. So after this consolidation, we now wait and see if it will be further breakout to the downside and break the support, or it will respect the support and now be a reversal to the upside. You might think I'm using any complicated tools out there, but basically this is how simple it is. I've literally explained how I took the trade. So a lot of money was made. You can see screenshots on your screen. So you don't want to miss out on my trading community on Telegram. Simply use the link in my description to join my trading community on Telegram. You don't want to miss my trade calls. So that's it for today, guys. If you find this video extremely helpful, you want to make more content like this, I need you to like this video. I also need you to subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel. Please make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified anytime I go live or anytime I drop a new video on YouTube. You can also keep up with me on my socials, KOMMONFOREX on all platforms, Instagram, Telegram, TikTok, on X. Use the link in the description to join my trading community on Telegram. There's also a link in the description which takes you straight to my recommended broker with the best trading conditions, tightest spreads, 24/7 customer service, as well as with instant deposits and withdrawals. You want to always be able to withdraw your profits regardless of the time of day, anytime you make money. So you want to simply sign up with my recommended broker, start your trading journey the right way. So thank you very much for joining me in this one. As always, I'm Common Forex, and I hope I left you better than I found you. See you all in the next one.